Are you worried about the world right now?
I've never been more optimistic.
Really? Okay, but you've also never seen so much conflict, racial in the U.S. and tribalism, division.
Yes.
Threats of nuclear devices in Southeast Asia.
Absolutely. So, as a scientist, I'll answer this two ways. As a scientist, when I look at nature and how nature accomplishes huge change, there's a pattern, and we are following that pattern right now. And what happens always in nature is this, is that the system becomes more and more and more complex, just as our world has become more and more complex, until the complexity is no longer sustainable. And then the whole thing goes into chaos and breaks down, but it doesn't break down to zero. It breaks down to give way to a higher order. I believe that we are globally in that natural process. We're seeing the breakdown of what is unsustainable. The things that are working still work. The only things breaking down are the things that are no longer sustainable. And there are a lot of things. The way we've talked about these, the way we think of energy, the way we think of food, the way we share resources, the way we treat one another, economic systems, they're not sustainable. They're breaking down to give way to a higher order. It's just that we are in the middle of the process, and to us it just looks, But if you can step back and look at the big picture, what you're going to see is this is a moment in time, and it's a pivotal moment. Now, I cannot think of a more exciting time. Man, I am so excited to be in the world at this time, because what is going to happen, you step back and you look at history, history is going to say, it was in these years that the people of the earth made the choice. And I believe that we will come very, very close to a very, very bad scenario. I think we will come close because that seems to be the way we learn. I think we're living a generation, Brian, when we will see something happen that we were told could never happen. I think we will see war, as we've known it, become obsolete. The idea of war, because in the past, the idea of war was that someone wins, someone loses, that there's something to gain, something to benefit. The technology we have today, if it were used, everyone loses. So I'm not saying we won't have disagreements and conflict, but the kind of war that we've seen in the past, I think we will see, I think, and you're already seeing this happen, I think you will see places where troops are ordered into battle and they refuse the order. And you're seeing that happen already. You're seeing it happen in situations where they've been asked to do something or ordered to do something, and they're saying, we're not going to do this. Because there's a higher wisdom and intelligence.
And information.
Well, so I've never been more optimistic, because I think the fact that these things are breaking down in the presence of the information age is the key. If we did not have the information age and they were breaking down, I think it could go a different way. But as these things are breaking down, we have something to fall back on. Our plan B, as you've heard me talk about, my plan B, our plan B is already out there. We know there are other ways to do economies that are not based in competition. We know that there are other ways to create energy that don't destroy the environment. We know that there are ways of healing our bodies that don't require the damage to the body that so many pharmaceuticals do. I believe in pharmaceuticals in some applications. I think they're misused. And personally, my personal belief is that they're misused. We know all that. So it's easier to let the old ideas go because we've got something to fall back on. If we didn't have these other ideas, it'd be very frightening.